The early morning sun climbed over the village of Elisa, casting long shadows in the dusty streets. At the heart of the bustling market, an old man sat on a low stool, eyes scanning the crowd with a mixture of hope and fear. This was Baba Tunde, a respected elder known for his wisdom, though today his heart was heavy. "Ah, Baba Tunde, has your son returned?" asked Mama Lola, a thick but kind woman carrying a basket of yams. Baba Tunde sighed heavily. "No, Mama Lola, not a word in 10 years. It's as if the forest swallowed him up." Mama Lola shifted uncomfortably, glancing around as if the trees themselves could be watching. As whispers of Tunde's son, Kunle, spread like harmattan, a young man quietly entered the market. His face was shadowed by a wide-brimmed hat, his clothes worn but clean. He moved with purpose, yet something about him seemed off, as if he carried the weight of worlds. "Who is that?" questioned a vendor, eyes narrowing with suspicion. "Don't know," her friend replied. "But he looks familiar." The young man paused at Baba Tunde's stall. Their eyes met briefly before the young man turned away, silently vanishing into the throng. Back at home, Baba Tunde sat with his wife, Mama Tunde. Their small kitchen was filled with the aroma of Uedu soup simmering over a low flame. "Kimi, I swear I saw him. Our son," Baba Tunde said, his voice both hopeful and uncertain. Mama Tunde shook her head, wiping her hands on her apron. "Ah, Tunde, your mind plays tricks. If it was truly Kunle, he would come to us." "But Kemi, there was something in his eyes. I can't explain." The mysterious young man, Kunle, stood at the edge of the forest, the place of his disappearance a decade ago. He clenched his fists, memories of betrayal flooding back. In the shadows he had learned survival, but what he craved now was justice. As the sun dipped below the horizon, he whispered to the wind, "I will take back what is rightfully mine." In the village square, the elders gathered under the giant Iroko tree. It was a matter of inheritance, and tensions were rising. Chief Ade, a relative of Baba Tunde, argued fiercely, "Baba Tunde, your son is gone. Your land should move to your brother's line." "Ah, no, Chief," Baba Tunde protested. "Kunle is not dead. He will return." "But how long must we wait for a ghost?" Chief Ade retorted, earning nods from the other elders. Kunle watched from the shadows, his heart pounding. His uncle, Chief Ade, was trying to seize everything his father had built. His blood boiled, anger simmering in his chest. "I won't let him destroy my family," Kunle vowed silently. Days turned into weeks, and rumors about the young man in the market spread. The villagers whispered about a stranger in their midst. One evening, at a local bar, a group of men speculated loudly. "He's here for something," said one man, taking a swig of palm wine. "And maybe he's after Baba Tunde's land," another chimed in, suspicious. Kunle listened from a dark corner, teeth gritted against the tide of his frustration. The village buzzed as a meeting was called to formally discuss the land. As the elders took their places, Baba Tunde's voice quivered with emotion. "This land is for my son, Kunle. I will not betray his memory." Chief Ade smirked. "A memory, indeed. But what is lost must be claimed by those who remain." Kunle's heart ached, anger hardened into determination. Kunle spent his days in the shadows, watching over his family, longing to reveal himself. But he feared what his return might bring. Questions, disbelief, and most of all, the heartbreak of what he had become. In a quiet moment under the moonlit sky, he whispered, "Soon they will know." One restless night, Baba Tunde sat alone outside, the night air cool against his skin. Kunle watched from a distance, tears in his eyes. "I will make this right, Baba," he vowed softly, his resolve growing clearer with each passing moment. Kunle began to plan, moving silently through the village, gathering allies one by one. It was a small band, but those who joined had their grievances with Chief Ade's greedy hold over the village. "We will expose him," Martin, a young fisherman, said firmly, "and restore what should be." With each passing day, Kunle discovered more about his uncle's deceit. Land not only promised to him, but also sold to others. Kunle's anger became a sharp tool, carefully honed for the blow he would soon deliver. The day of reckoning arrived. The village square was dense with anticipation. The elders sat in a circle, the sound of drums beating a tense rhythm. Kunle stood quietly at the back, waiting for his moment. As Chief Ade rose to speak, Kunle stepped forward. Enough lies, Kunle spoke, his voice steady though his heart raced. Gasps rippled through the crowd as they recognized him. Kunle, called Baba Tunde, disbelief warring with joy on his face. And who do you think you are? Chief Odd sneered, trying to regain control. Some imposter? Kunle met his uncle's eyes with fierce resolve. I am Kunle, son of Baba Tunde. The land will not fall into your hands. Silence hung heavy in the air. Baba Tunde rose, tears pooling in his eyes, and went to Kunle with arms wide open. My son, he whispered, pulling Kunle into a tight embrace. But the moment was cut short as Chief Ade shouted, This changes nothing! We have a council vote! Kunle's eyes flashed. But we also have proof, he declared, holding up a bundle of papers. The crowd leaned in closer, hearts pounding collectively. And just like that, the scene was set for the clash that would decide the fate of more than just a piece of land. The game had begun, and the stakes could not be higher. The air around the village square was tense, like a tightly pulled bowstring ready to snap. Chief Ade's face darkened with outrage as he lunged forward, the elders buzzing with uncertainty. You've been gone for a decade, Kunle. How can we trust your word? Chief Ade spat, trying to sow doubt among the elders. Kunle raised the bundle of documents for all to see, voice unwavering. These papers prove your deception, Ade. You've sold land that wasn't yours to sell. The crowd murmured, uncertainty and anger rippling through the sea of onlookers. Baba Tunde stood beside Kunle, his eyes reflecting both hurt and hope. As dusk settled, word of the confrontation spread through Ilessa like wildfire. In the crowded market square, people huddled in groups, talking animatedly. The boy has proof of his uncle's greed, an old woman whispered to her neighbor. But can he really take on Chief Ade? The neighbor replied, unsure. Meanwhile, Kunle, flanked by Martin and his allies, retreated to the old family house. Plans swirled in his mind like a storm, but exhaustion darkened his thoughts. Instinct told him the battle was far from over. Under the cloaked cover of night, Kunle sat alone at the edge of the family compound, staring at the documents. His heart ached, anger and sadness grappling like warriors inside him. A soft footfall broke the silence, and Mama Tunde approached, her face lined with anxiety but love most of all. Kunle, my son, she began quietly. Revenge is a heavy burden. I've watched it change faces to stone. Kunle's brow furrowed at his mother's gentle reproach, a lump forming in his throat. Before he could respond, a voice rang out from the shadows, a voice that dripped with venom. So, this is where the prodigal son hides, Chief Ade sneered, emerging from the darkness. Tension crackled in the air like impending thunder. Mama Tunde stepped forward protectively, her gaze piercing through her brother-in-law. Leave this place, Ade. You have no right here, she said, her voice firm. Rights? You speak of rights? Ade scoffed. When you and this boy have no claim over the very land you stand on. Kunle rose, shaking with restrained fury. This is my father's land. You have taken enough from us. As if to solidify his defiance, Kunle stepped closer, the paper evidence clutched tightly in his fist. The confrontation moved to the elders' meeting, the once vibrant Iroko tree casting a shadow on the tense assembly. The elders sat in silence, awaiting the claims. Baba Tunde, his voice quivering with age and hurt, addressed the gathering. Our family has suffered greatly, but today the truth will be revealed. Kunle stood firm, presenting his evidence to the council, each page laid bare. The accusations were undeniable, each fraudulent sale documented. These papers, Kunle said, pausing to maintain his composure, show the truth. Chief Ade's deceit is plain for all to see. The square erupted in uproar, villagers torn between disbelief and confirmation of their suspicions. Could it be true? Has Chief Ade betrayed us? A voice whispered through the throng. In the hushed discussions, one voice cut through like a honed blade. It was Pastor Jide, a respected man among the villagers, whose heart always overflowed with compassion and integrity. The Lord sees all, but we must see with our hearts too, Pastor Jide spoke, stepping forward. Vengeance belongs to God. Let us not destroy each other. With Pastor Jide's words echoing in the air, the council began a slow deliberation. Kunle's heart thudded in his chest, his mother's earlier warning weighing heavily on his mind. In the quiet moments, as villagers debated, Kunle found himself seated beside Pastor Jide, who looked at him with kind, understanding eyes. Kunle, the pastor began softly, I remember you as a child. You had a spirit like the river, strong and unyielding. Yet, rivers are not meant to flood the land with vengeance, but to nurture it. Kunle swallowed hard, emotions swirling within him. He had been a man of the forest, hardened by survival, yet here was a different challenge altogether. The council finally declared their decision. They sided with Kunle, stating that Chief Ade's actions were unjust and the rightful heir was indeed Baba Tunde's son. A murmur of relief swept through the crowd, but amidst the celebratory atmosphere, a silence clung to Kunle. And as the villagers dispersed, leaving behind an air of resolution, he remained standing, still burdened by more than just the weight of the now resolved claim. Chief Ade was nearby, his arrogance stripped bare, a broken man brought low. But Kunle felt no satisfaction in his uncle's defeat. Later that night, Kunle sat alone in the family compound, a candle flickering by his side. His mind replayed the pastor's words, a slow revelation dawning. In the quiet sanctuary of the night, a shadow passed over the doorway, Baba Tunde. Without a word, his father sat beside him. They were silent, the only sounds those of the crickets and night breezes. I am proud of you, Kunle. You fought for justice. Kunle's eyes stung with the tears he had held at bay. I wanted to destroy him, Baba, but now I see. It's me who was nearly destroyed. Voices from the past whispered in the wind. Tears slipped down Kunle's face, unwelcome, unbidden, but cleansing. He took a deep breath, his resolve shifting like the tides being pulled by the moon. Perhaps there was another way forward. Perhaps he could bring healing to these dry lands. Quietly, he uttered words he hadn't in years, words he'd pushed away in pain, in anger. Father, forgive me, as I must learn to forgive too. Dawn broke gently over Ilesa, the village stirring back to life. Kunle approached the church, where Pastor Jide awaited him, a knowing smile on his face. You sought justice, and you found truth. Kunle nodded slowly. But I found something else, God's truth, in my heart. Pastor Jide placed a hand on Kunle's shoulder gently. Let God turn your anger into grace. Jesus' grace is greater than any wrong committed against us. Kunle took a deep breath, the path looking less treacherous and more fulfilling. He realized God had seen him through it all, his time in the forest, the bitterness he nursed, and now this moment of surrender. As he helped rebuild his family home, each brick felt lighter with each newfound understanding and forgiveness. Chief Ade approached one day, his head bowed. I wronged you, Kunle. Our family. Kunle extended his hand, offering not only peace but hope for change they could both nurture. Let's make a new path together for our families.
Thank you so much for listening to this intriguing story. I hope it touched you or taught you something. For more stories like this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the page. And guys, if you'd like to see a part 2, or you have thoughts on what happened, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. See you in the next story.